Hello and welcome back to Curiosity Lounge. Before we start, hit that red subscribe button so that you never miss out on any of our videos. Canada is any traveler's dream country to visit. Canada is a constitutional monarch country where people speak both English and French. The head of the state is Queen Elizabeth II. Did you know Canada has the longest coastline in the world? However, Canada faces harsh winters, which is one of the reasons for its less population. So why do 50% of Canadians live in the South, even if this is a problem? So for today's video, we will talk about why half of Canada's population lives south of this line. Canadians are also known as Northern Americans. The 49th parallel is the longest border between two countries in the world. It was assumed to be a borderline by dividing the two countries, Canada and the US. Most Americans live south of this 49th parallel line, but some Canadians live in the South. If you go further down the line, 50% of Canadians live south of this line, which is comparatively a small area. This implies that most Canadians live south than most American countries like Washington, North Dakota, Montana, and Alaska. The southernmost part of Canada is in the Middle Island. In this Northern American continent, surprisingly more than Canadians, there are more Americans who live on this island. Even though they shouldn't be living there, here is how all of Canada is above the line of the latitude, which is over the Middle Island's location. Still, some states of the US do too include a tiny part of California. So people from California can claim that some part of their state goes north just above the latitude and vice versa for Canada. Above Canada's southernmost point lies some of America's largest urban areas. Some of them are Oregon, Idaho, Washington, Montana, South and North Dakota, Wisconsin, Minnesota, New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, Alaska, and most of Wyoming, Michigan, New York City, and Massachusetts. This concludes that the north of Canada's southernmost point is filled with Americans rather than Canadians? At least 80% of Canada's entire population lives on the United States border, covering 100 miles of the border. Canada is considered one of the largest countries in the world, yet many Canadians live closer to the United States border. To answer this question, let's get to know about the country. The country is a continent-sized country which is the same size as Europe. But Europe's population is more than Canada's population is 750 million, whereas the continental-sized country has only 38 million people. It is also less than people living in California or Poland. It is impossible to settle only 38 million people equally across this huge area. They haven't even tried to, because Canada's population is spread out to different areas of the countries like Vancouver, Edmonton, Calgary, and one of the more popular ones is located further down in between Windsor and Quebec City. They are known to be industrialized and densely populated. More than half of the population lives in an area of 700 miles of land. Some of them include Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, and Quebec City. The reason is dealing with the history and geography of the country. Canadian Shield covers most of the country, making it cold all the time of the year. This makes farming next to impossible because of the thin layer of topsoil present on these huge lands. Without food, civilization or even humans are hard to make or find because of the harsh winters of Canada. This means Canada can never make it to the list of one of the biggest populations in the world. Instead of developing here, Canada's civilization is built further away from the Shield, where farming is possible on a large scale. This is only possible because of the Great Lakes. The largest collection of freshwater lakes is found here in the Great Lakes on the surface area. They act like seas that soak up the heat during the summer, provide cool air, and radiate the same during the month of autumn. This reduces the cold in the surrounding areas. In addition, Quebec City has deep, better, and richer soil than anywhere in Canada. This helps visualize a large population with good agricultural farming operations in a country with extreme winters. It is also possible to bear fruit trees or orchids in this perfect climate. This is one of the reasons why Canadians live here. The other reason is the significance of geopolitical and projection of power. The most significant river in world history is the St. Lawrence River. For exploring Northern America, Europeans used this way for the past centuries. The Lachine Canal was constructed across Montreal Island to avoid the dangerous Lachine Rapids. This helped combine a series of canals across some of other various lakes or canals in 1959. The ships could now travel all of the Atlantic lakes, which helped cities like Toronto, Detroit, Buffalo, Chicago, and Duluth to be some of the important trading ports with easy access to other oceans of the world. Due to this, there are good trades that have to pass through to the ports of Toronto, Montreal, and Quebec City along St. Lawrence Lake. These have made them the top destinations in Canada for people who plan to move abroad. As a result, Toronto and Montreal's population increased rapidly in just a single century. From being a town, Toronto grew into a metropolitan city with a population of 2.2 million people. On the other hand, Montreal increased from just 150,000 people to more than 1.7 million people. Currently, this is why 50% of Canadians live south and about 80% live near the United States border. The border has been closed because of COVID-19, which will now be opening soon. Back in 2020, Canada had shut down the border because of the ongoing pandemic. But now, after a year, the border will finally open to travel or trading. Since the War of 1812, this has been the longest time the border has been closed. So this brings us to the end of the video, guys. I hope you liked our video, and do let us know your opinions about the border getting opened after a year. We will see you another video like this soon.